Well, the forecast had given us a 50% chance of rain. I guess now there's a 100% chance of that, isn't there? It's absolutely battering it down. But it's all good. I've got a couple of things to be cracking on with first thing this morning now. I'm still looking to get the harvester into the field of peas, but that's not going to be till this afternoon now. The forecast has given sunshine from kind of midday onwards, clear blue skies, sunshine hopefully, so a couple of hours of that should help to dry out the crop a wee bit. There is still quite a nice breeze, so and that wind speed is due to maintain for the rest of the day, so hopefully that'll help to dry out the crops a bit. And obviously, until we get anything into the fields, ideally as well, we can hope that the breeze will help dry out the soil a bit, because I'd like to get the cultivator into this field here and run that over there. But for now, Clara is out giving Whisper a gallop on the hills, as she normally does first thing in the morning, come rain or shine. But I'm going to head myself down to the shop on my own 2 feet. I'm going to go for a nice wander. I've got my jacket on. I've never been too keen on the rain, to be honest, but happy to do that today because I have a nice shiny toy to go pick up. I have placed that order for the 9RT, so I now have a John Deere on the farm. How good is that? But yeah, it is a used one. It's only got about 20. It's not done a huge amount of work, to be honest. It's got something like, I think it's like 27 hours on its work hour clock. But yeah, looking forward to getting that down on the farm, I must admit. So, I'm going to get on my toes, and I'll see you down there shortly. And down here, the canola fields are looking nice and healthy. These are ready to go as well. Obviously not right now, but the plan is to get these 2 fields done in the next few days. Now, I did have a phone call with one of the guys over at the local grain buyers there. They've told me that, because I was asking them about, is there anything that they'd need for me to put into the ground that they're short on? And one of the things that they could do with a bit more of come next year is rye. So they do pay decent money per tonne for the rye. And that is something that we can actually get into the ground between now and the end of next month. Essentially, that's ideal planting time for rye. So I'm thinking, of our several fields, I'm going to put a few of them to rye and potentially keep maybe 1 or 2 back for soybeans, which we can start drilling in May of next year. So that's kind of a ballpark plan I've got at the minute. It's always good to get the advice of the grain buyers, isn't it? Because if I was just to put whatever I fancied into the ground willy-nilly, and they might not need what I can produce. So I've got their advice, and I think for now, rye is what it will be. So that's all good. But yeah, this is going to need a bit of drying out before we can get harvesting. We'll get it sorted in the next few days, though. I think for today, what I'd like to focus on is once this rain's been and gone, and we've had a couple of hours of a nice breeze, I'm going to get the cultivator into the field opposite the farm there, on the top of the hill, and get dragging that over there. And I think I might have a bit of a run in the new 9RT, because that's got more than enough power to cope with that job. The old Fent did a good job, didn't it? But it'd be nice to put the new thing to the test. So, anyway, just thought I'd keep you updated on that little bit. Got a few miles ahead of me, though. And if I'm not mistaken, there is my new toy. Check that out. That's a lovely thing. Now, they have gone through it for me, obviously with it being a used vehicle. It's had a full John Deere service, all the filters and fluids changed, oil, coolant, you name it. It's been done. It's had a couple of little paint chips touched up, which is all good. But yeah, 27.3 hours I think it's got on the clock. So it's not had much of a hard life up to now. 628 horsepower, if I remember correctly. So this has got more than enough power to do what we need to do with it. Plenty of torque. Weighs just over 24 tonnes. What a lovely thing, though, eh? I suppose I need to give Jack a call back into Taheton, don't I, and tell him what I bought, send him a photograph. He'll be laughing his head off. Right, anyway, let's go pay Tanner a visit in the office. See if we can go through the paperwork and get all the I's dotted and the T's crossed. Put my signature on a couple of bits of paper and make it mine. Oh, brilliant. Look at that. 40 odd minutes in there, nattering away to everyone. The rain's gone. Blue skies are coming. That's all good. So, we've got the keys. sorted all the paperwork out. Can I get round there? No, I can't. I'll tell you what though, that's the downside to owning a car like that. The inside gets wet when it rains. That was a bad move bringing that to work today, wasn't it? So, it's got a couple of nice things on display there. Right. Anyway, let's get round here. Get into my new toy. Well, this is quite a nice place to be, if I'm honest. Feels good. It's very clean in here. They've done a good job of cleaning it up. The seats haven't got a mark on them. Yeah. 27.3 hours. There we go. You see it on the screen there. But yeah, 3-point hitch, of course. It's really quite nice in here. Get used to this. So, I think I need to stop oogling over it, don't I? Get it back to the farm. And I think we'll put it straight to work. Well, a couple of hours' time anyway. We'll let the wind try and work its way on the moisture on the fields there, see if we can just dry the soil out. But yeah, we'll run the cultivator, run the Landoll. Put a couple more hours on this. And then after that, hopefully, we'll be able to get the harvester into the peas and get them out of the ground. Just had my lunch, given the ground a good few hours to dry itself out. The wind's helping with that. So what I've got in my little toolbox here is a handful of spanners and a good chunk of new cutter knives for the harvester header, where there's a few of them that are a little bit bent and quite blunt. So before we get that into the field of peas later on today, I'll just spend an hour or so replacing a few of them, get it up to working capacity, as it were. Can't have any blunt knives on the front of this thing. It's one of the most important parts of the header. So we'll get this lot fitted, and then it will be time to get the 9RT hooked up to the Landoll. I'm going to get in this field now. Let's just have a quick check on the ground. Feels relatively underfoot anyway. Yeah, it feels it's drying out nicely, this. So when we run the cultivator, when we run the Landoll, it's not going to mulch up and pick up big slabs of mud, wet mud, so that's all good. Right, but yeah, as I say, quite a few of these knives are looking a bit sorry for themselves. So we'll get this one sorted, up to working speed. Better watch my head on that though, won't I? Right, let's get this done. Right, one good job done there, all sorted, cutter knives replaced, everything's looking sharp, ready to rock and roll for in a few hours' time. But yeah, let's put this new thing to the test, eh? I'm sure it'll be fine, but it's got more than enough power. It's got well, more than twice the power of the Fendt that we ran with this thing previously. So, in actual fact, I'm going to need to shift that header, aren't I? Should have thought about that one, shouldn't I? So, I'll disconnect this out of the way very quickly. I'm going to shift that header out of my way. We'll get cultivating. almost done now. Just finishing off this last strip. And then that's this field completely finished for now. So that's excellent. Really happy with this tractor. It's an absolute beast. It really is. It does seem to run this thing slightly better than the Fendt did, I've got to admit, because it's just under much less strain. This, because of the weight and the size of this thing, it does require about 300 horsepower apparently. The Fendt is knocking on the door of exactly 300, whereas this is more than twice that. So, yeah, much better machine for the job, I've got to say. Been a lovely office for the last few hours, so I think we're going to hit the ground running now. Clara's obviously back at the farm waiting for me. She's going to run harvester this time when we get into the peas. So I'm going to stick with this, connect it up to the trailer and run cart for her. That's the plan. So yeah, here we go. Lovely stuff. All finished off. Nice. That'll do for me. So, I do need to get a bit of fuel into the harvester. And then we're going to hit the ground running. Right, just get this thing juiced up for Clara. Get ready for the work ahead of us this afternoon. Now, I've just had another phone call from the grain buyers down in the town there. They were going to confirm with me a few details about the crops that I've got in the silo and what we've got coming up and when they can take them off me and whatnot. They told me if I can to hang on to the lentils and the peas till July next year. So we've got like seven or 8 months to hold on to those for now. That's when they can pay top dollar for them, so that's fine. Once we get the canola out the ground next month, we'll have to hold on to that till February for top dollar for that. But when it comes to the rye, we'll be able to get the rye into the ground next month. We'll be harvesting it in June, July next year, and then we'll only be holding on to that till the following January when they can pay top dollar for that as well. So it's nice to get a rough idea in my mind as to the time scale of things and yeah, how they work over here in Montana. But it's all good, that's fine. But yeah, we'll get this thing topped up. Clara's going to run it round to the field, we'll get hooked up to the header, and we'll get straight back into the work. Right, there she goes, all fueled up, ready to rock. She's going to go and hook up the header. I'll go catch her up now. And get cracking with these peas. She doesn't muck about, does she? She's got that header fitted and sorted in minutes. She's in the field, she's off already. Goodness me. You just can't stop her. Not going to complain. Right, well here we go. Let's get these peas sorted out. Right, this is us just on the last row now. Let's see if I can line up properly with her here. There we go, nice one. Get this filled up. So we've got about 128 tonnes so far over in the silo. See what we get from this last little strip here, and then that's the peas all completely done. It's been a few hours, but as always, what better way to finish a day than with a beautiful harvest, eh? Now the yields haven't been massive out of this field, they certainly can be better. Fortunately, peas don't need nitrogen, they don't need fertiliser, so that's going to save me a bit of money and definitely a bit of time. But we do need to definitely top up the pH values of this soil, because it's lacking in its nutrients a bit, and it really is. Anyway, we'll get this finished off, we'll get everything back to the farm. We'll go through some numbers. Well, I thought I'd give Odin a quick run now. Didn't really get the chance to give him one this morning. Don't do the rain, do I? I thought I'd bring him out now. I'll go and have a check on the cows. But yield-wise from that field, from the peas, 142.5 tonnes. So based on what the grain buyers said they're willing to pay for peas, come sell time, we're looking at about 126 grand for all that lot. Plus the 206.5 tonnes of lentils we've got, at about 249 grand collectively. Between the peas and the lentils, about $375,000. So that's excellent. Looking forward to that. Now, obviously, we've still got the canola to come as well. 2 big fields of that, and we'll be cracking on with that tomorrow, I think. But perfect end to a perfect day, quite frankly. Lovely bit of field cultivation. Running the new tractor, the John Deere 9RT. Really happy with that. Lovely harvest. Me and Clara working well together. And now spend the next half an hour or so riding horseback, checking on me cattle. What a life.